Let's bring in right now ABC News correspondent and author of Supreme Conflict, the inside story of the struggle for the control of the United States
Great
Supreme
book.
Court. Truly the greatest book ever written about the United States Supreme Court. Jan Crawford Greenberg. Jan, the big question on everybody's mind this morning, will Bama beat Arkansas next week and then go into Athens and tear them up between the hedges?
Joe, I think we all know the answer to that question. It's going to be a roll the rest of the season.
Roll all the way. Roll tight. All right, so let's talk about Palin. You've written about it. You obviously have been following the story a good bit. Last week, you talked about, and I thought a fascinating column, about reverse sexism. That the McCain campaign's engaging sort of in reverse sexism. What were you talking about?
Well, look, I mean, I think this is a point that you guys have discussed, too. You know, they kind of can't have it both ways. Either she's spectacularly qualified and experienced and should be out there talking, or they're going to not treat her like an equal, but almost someone you'd stick on top of a wedding cake. I mean, the language that they're using to talk about how, you know, the press and the Obama campaign is reacting to her is, I think, almost sexist in itself.
Like
I mean,
what?
they're accusing the Obama campaign, the McCain campaign is, accusing the Obama campaign and the press of sexism in their language that they're using to talk about Sarah Palin, calling Joe Biden arrogant and appalling when he says, you know, that the question is how Sarah Palin thinks and what she believes, and that he believes her policies would be a backward step for women. The RNC said that was appalling and arrogant and therefore sexist. And, you know, I think all of that talk, I mean, treating Palin as someone that you have to treat differently doesn't do Sarah Palin any favors.
And what was the Rick Davis quote you brought up?
Well, Davis said that, you know, they weren't going to, you know, let her have any media interviews until the press was treating her with respect and deference.
They weren't treating her with enough. Buchanan, did they ever treat you with deference and respect? Was anybody ever concerned about you being treated with proper amount of deference?
Well, I can't. Maybe Human Events showed me a little bit of deference. So that was about it. It would be. But look, there's no doubt about it, though. The media have gone ballistic on this woman, have they not? Maybe you say Obama hasn't, but I can't recall an obsession with her. Look, as a governor, she's got 2 years' experience there. I thought she handled Charlie Gibson fairly well. Obviously, she's somewhat at sea in foreign and defense policy.
Which, of course, was the next sentence in the Washington Post editorial that Joe was reading earlier, that, you know, regardless of whether, you know, or however you think about Charlie Gibson's question on the Bush Doctrine, you know, her response showed that, you know, perhaps there wasn't this appreciation for real-world complexities. And those are the questions, I think, that, you know, many people have legitimate questions, and those are the answers. I think it's legitimate
it's our job to ask those questions. I mean, does it need to be characterized in a catty way? Does it need to be mean? No, but you know what? It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but you noticed it was a gotcha question. Excuse me.
I'm looking at the
as Joe said, Charlie Gibson's one of the nicest guys in television, easygoing, and he sat there with the leg flipping, you know, tell me about the Bush Doctrine. You know, in other words, tell me what it means first, then answer what you think of the thing.
Well, then why not just, you know, say...
I thought you handled it very well. I thought you handled it very well.
But your point was
she barely made it through.
That you think she should have said, "Damn, what are you talking about?"
Well, I think you would have answered it differently. I think you would have answered it differently because you would have had more confidence in your answer, that you thought that was an imprecise question.
But there may be several versions of it, so which one are you talking about?
That's what you said. In what respect, Charlie?
Now, if we roll the tape of the Denver convention, actually Friday morning when we heard that this unknown governor was being selected, before I knew anything about her, I actually said it would be sexist if they selected her just because she was a woman. And, of course, that's before I knew she had 5 kids, knew how to shoot an automatic weapon, and all these things that made me fall in love with her immediately. But was the selection itself sexist?
Well, look, John McCain, I think, everyone should just acknowledge, he selected her in no small part because of her gender. It was only when Barack Obama decided not to pick Hillary Clinton that all of his advisors started saying, look, we need to start thinking about a woman. Kay Bailey Hutchison said she was not interested. A lot of people were really pushing her. Sarah Palin had kind of been floating on the periphery, wasn't on his short list, as we've all seen.
And you did a lot of reporting on this behind the scenes. What happened? When did he finally decide not to go with Lieberman? And when did he then go, oh, damn, I've got to pick somebody else, and then he stumbled on Palin.
No, it was a very organized and detailed process that the campaign went through. They did a big cut of about 40 people, looking at all the possible candidates that they could think of. They cut that list down to about 20. Did some more in-depth vetting. She was on that list. Then McCain further narrowed that list down. It's not, you can't go out and really intensively vet that many people. That's when he looked at these 5 kind of all-white guys, and she was not
on the final 5.
That list.
Let me say, look, here's what he did. If you're going to go with Lieberman, you are rolling the dice because you would have dynamited the Republican convention. I don't think he could have won. It would just I would have led
thrown the dynamite in the middle of it.
But what he meant, I think McCain said, look, and they went to his guys, went to him, and said, we're going to lose this thing unless we roll the dice, and if we're not rolling it this way, the way to roll it here is to unite the base and bring an attractive woman on. Yeah, it's a gamble, and I think that's what he did in the final analysis, and it worked.
When did that happen, though?
Well, you and I were there that morning, Joe.
Sunday night, when they said you can't do it, they said, all right, let's call Sarah Palin. They flew out the
Sunday
first
night
time.
they told McCain, you can't pick Lieberman.
6 states will walk out of the convention.
6 states will walk out.
Right.
Wow.
And so that triggered, that night, that's when they triggered kind of the final intensive call the House, interviewing her.
We've been doing this for months. We got these 5 white guys. We're going to throw them all out.
She was still on the periphery of that.
No, she was on the list.
But then they triggered.
Plenty's a good fellow, but what do you get with Plenty?
I agree.
I think they were going to lose the race if they didn't take a gamble. They took it, the Hail Mary pass. She caught it.
And so far it looks brilliant. So far it looks absolutely brilliant.
Don't do the end zone dance yet.
There's still a few more quarters we got to play.
I'll tell you what, Pat, on September 14th, looking pretty good.
Don't keep that tape.
Kind of like the Tide being 3-0 after beating Western Kentucky this week.
Big win for the Tide.
Also, Vandy 3-0. That says all you need to know. All right, Jan, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
The book's out in paper book.
In Washington, guys.
It's great to be here.
Love it.
Come back.
There's
the book is Supreme Conflict. Seriously, the LA Times calls her the new Woodward.
You got to get it.
I don't know if I'd take that as a compliment, though.